Welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Angela.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Emily. We're three life coaches who found connection in faith, friendship, and purpose.
Get ready for real talk, relatable stories, and practical tips you can actually use.
We're so happy you're here at the Life Coach Lounge.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm here with my friends Lisa and Emily, and we are going to have a somewhat lighthearted conversation today about life and laughter after your kids fly the nest. And the first thing I want to ask is it normal to feel excited and also awful during an empty nest transition? And myself, I have a completely empty nest now. And maybe we should just catch everyone up on where we're at with our stages of empty nest. So Jim and I have 5 grown children. Our 2 oldest are boys. They're both married. I have 3 grandsons. I have 3 daughters. All 3 of my daughters are single. All 5 of my kids are full-time working, tax-paying citizens. And my husband is like, mission accomplished. I did my job. They are supporting themselves and independent. So he feels great about it. Don't always feel great during empty nest, which we will talk about. So tell me what stage you're at, Lisa.
I am kind of in between. I have 2 adult children, a 26-year-old and a soon-to-be 20-year-old. My son, who is 26, has moved out a while ago, so he has been on his own and adulting for a little bit of time now. And my daughter is going to be going back into her sophomore year at college. So it's like a part-time emptiness. Like
Yep.
she's home on breaks, but in summer, but gone the majority of the year. And so I'm not quite at your stage just yet.
My situation is a little bit more unique. So Andrew and I have 2 daughters. Our oldest is 21, and she is still living at home with us for various reasons. She's had some challenges to work through, and so we are in a season of supporting her through all of that, but she has never left the home to live independently. So she is still here with us. And then our younger daughter, just actually at the time of this recording, got married just over 2 weeks ago, 10 days before her 19th birthday. So she did leave our home for about 7 months last year for a gap year program after she graduated, came back and got engaged, got married. And so we kind of ripped the Band-Aid off with that one, but in the best way possible. They have our full blessing, and it's been an amazing thing to witness, just this young love and them starting out. But it happened quickly and lots of emotions. So I'm in a very unique situation. One just flew the nest real quick and one is still here. And I'm not sure what that looks like moving forward. Yeah, that's our unique situation.
I think you girls would agree that it's such an honor and a privilege to have a front row seat to watch your kids become adults and learn to figure out life and, not always make the same choice that we would have made or would like to make. And there's emotions to deal with when that comes up too. But I think for the moms, transition does always involve a sense of loss or grief, even when you're holding that excitement for what they are blossoming into. So you can hold both things at the same time to be true. This feels very sad. It feels very different. And also, I'm so excited for them and to watch them become adults. It's the scariest and greatest thing to witness. So you can say, I'm so excited for them and also sad for me. You can say, I'm so excited for my next adventure. And also, I miss my babies. So 2 things can be true at the same time. And that is something that we teach our clients. So I thought we'd have a little Q&A today, empty nest style. And my first question, I'm going to ask you, Emily, do you have any new habits, in quotes, habits, now that the kids are gone?
So, again, with our situation, we still have one kid at home, but with our youngest leaving, I do feel that it has freed up some more of my time and energy. So, I have been spending more time in the morning just in my quiet time, getting up earlier than everybody else. So I think that's a habit that I am getting back to, having one less person to care for, think about, talk with, be there for, has freed up some time for me, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's awesome. How about you, Lisa? Any new habits?
Hi. Honestly, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm in it and I can't see it, if that makes sense. Like I'm sure I do, and maybe I'll pay attention to it more once Sam's back at school again. But her being home for the summer, and I also work in a school district, so like my habits changed. So it's hard for me to discern if my habits changed because of my work environment or because my daughter is cohabitating in the same house again. But I do notice that I do tend to use one room in the house more frequently than maybe I would any other time, just because I like silence. And if you ask that question later, it might be a totally different answer. But I do like quiet, like intentional quiet. And other people in my house like to always have something on. So if there was a habit, it's probably me seeking out personal timeout.
Yes,
That makes sense.
100%. I am with you on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Well, I will be a little vulnerable and share a bad habit Jim
Well,
and I
here we
have
go.
picked up.
Confession time.
It's confessions. So when our kids were home, we always ate dinner around the table. I mean, just real sticklers that the family eats together every night. Phones are put away, no TV. I mean, very, very rarely we would eat in front of a movie, like get pizza or something and have a movie on. Super Bowl Sunday for sure. We had the TV on, but otherwise, I was always a stickler about we eat at the table, no TV. So Jim and I are empty nesters. When we sit down to dinner, we grab my iPad, open it up, and watch a show while we eat. And honestly, I keep telling him, like, I don't like that we're doing this. This is a bad habit. We can't be doing this. And every night we do. So,
Now your kids know too, Angela. Now they know it's out there for them.
so yeah, but I will say that comes after we play our cards. So every night when Jim gets home, we sit down, we play four hands of cards, and that's kind of like our talk time. Playing cards, I always tease him that he wants me to talk about my day so that I'll get confused and not play correctly and he'll win. I'm like, you're distracting me. Don't ask me all these questions. I'm going to lose. But that's like our talk time. And then, I don't know, we're just kind of talked out and the TV comes on and we watch a show on my iPad. And okay, moving on to the next question, girls. Here's a good one. Empty nest date night. Do we go to the grocery store on date night or do we go to a fancy restaurant? How about you, Lisa? I know what you do.
We do both, but I do enjoy a good grocery store date
Oh my gosh,
night.
that is not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to talk about trivia.
I do enjoy a good, well, trivia is actually more of a family event. Like I will show up to trivia if one of my kids shows up to trivia. If Brian just said, hey, you want to go to trivia? I'm probably going to say no. But if one of my kids are there, then they are a draw for me. But I do enjoy a good grocery store date, primarily because it's just more fun to go grocery shopping with your spouse.
Especially
Like,
Costco, don't you think?
like it's just, yes, it's just more fun. Now I might spend more money. That's a given.
For sure.
And don't misunderstand, I do enjoy being spoiled at a fancy restaurant on occasion. But a fancy restaurant requires me to get like do my hair and do all the things. And I'm a wrinkle-free type of girl, meaning like the clothes, like wash and wear. What you see is what you get. I'm just going to walk out the door.
I'm going to go with, I'm going to make up my own option. You said grocery store or fancy restaurant, and I'm going to say any restaurant. So anytime Andrew and I can go out to eat and sit across the table from each other, it just fosters really good conversation. And I don't know why we can do that at home or sit on the couch together and talk at home, but something about being across the table from each other at a restaurant just fosters really good conversation. So one of our favorite things to do is on a whim, if it's a nice night, we'll go down to the local bar and grill in our little lake town that we live in. And it's right on the lake. And so it's got lake views. You can sit outside or inside. And that's been one of our favorite spots lately.
That's so nice. That does sound romantic.
I didn't say it was romantic. I mean, we have conversations that are not always romantic. Sometimes they are, but sometimes we get really deep too. It's just, again, that sitting across the table from each other, not being in our home environment, somehow it just fosters great questions and great conversation. So, yes, there is romance, but
Lakeview. You had me at Lakeview.
I don't know if your husband's, well, that's not true. I know your husband's a lot better now, but I know that it's fostering like more connection that you're talking about, Emily, in the fact that when I think this works for women too, like when you take us out of our environment, it's easier for us not to be so distracted by our environment. So I know for my husband, even if we're sitting at the dinner table, he can look anywhere and it's going to trigger something like, I need to take care of that, or oh yeah, let's not forget about this. It's amazing to just go anywhere, to a park.
Great point. Yeah.
You're right on when you say just it fosters a better connection because you're not in your natural surroundings.
I think too, at this stage of life, you're not worried about a babysitter. You don't have to keep the phone handy like when the kids were little in case something happened and they needed to get a hold of you. With our kids being older, even though I still have one at home, or your daughter Lisa might be at home for the summer. It's not like it's a major deal to have the phone right there in case of emergencies. They can handle whatever comes up. I am a strong advocate for date night no matter what phase of parenting you're in. But there is a sweetness to this phase of our marriage because you have adults that can take care of themselves. It's just one less distraction when you do get across the table from each other on a date night.
It's less expensive, so you can spend the money on the date
Yes,
night because you don't have
true.
that babysitter.
Yes. And I was going to say, I remember so many times when we would have a babysitter and I would be like, we can't go home yet. They're not in bed. I don't want to go home until they're all in bed. Because that was part of date night for me. Like I didn't have to do my routine. So we would, I don't know what, drive around, stall, get ice cream, whatever. But no, don't take mama home yet. So this might be a different question if our husbands were retired, but all of our husbands are still working. So I personally enjoy an empty house because Jim is still working during the day. I have the house to myself, essentially. Now, if Jim was retired, I might need some coaching, not gonna lie. One of those transition times, but I really love being home alone in an empty house. What for you is the best part about, and maybe the worst part of being home in an empty house? Emily, what do you got?
I didn't quite go where you went with that because we're not quite to that stage where I'm thinking about Andrew retiring. But he does have a really flexible job. So there are days that he does stay at home or work from home or is able to take time off. So we kind of have that. But the thing I thought of, the best thing about an empty house, I was thinking about how Kylie has moved out because she's married now. And honestly, the best thing about that is it's less mess because there's less stuff. There's like one less person to have stuff in the house. And I love organized spaces and everything put in its place and everything put back and the shoes put on the shelf versus just kicked in the corner. So, as far as maintaining a an organized and clean environment. I feel like that's the best thing about having less people in the house. I mean, the worst thing about an empty house is that I miss my people when they're not here. So it's again both and so many good things and also missing the chaos that once was.
Yeah.
I think my answers are kind of like you mentioning, like you can be both excited and sad. Like my answer is the same in a and or. Like I love the silence. Like when people leave for the day and I happen to not be working out of the home that day, like I don't turn on a TV. I might listen to a podcast or something while I'm cleaning. I enjoy, but that's intentional. Like I enjoy my intentional quiet time. And also, there are times when the house is so quiet and that feels forced on me. So I like it can be both. Like when it's been a long duration of time, if my husband's traveling for work and he's gone all week and Sam's at school and it's just the dog and myself, like I didn't intentionally sign up for this silence. So that feels a little different. And like you mentioned, like you have less people in the house, so you would have less laundry. I love that part. And also, I don't mind when she comes home from college to help her out with her laundry because I'm so freaking excited to see her. So I think some of my answers are like, well, but.
Yeah, exactly. I can totally relate to that. I think for me, an empty house means that I can set my own pace and my own schedule for the day. With 5 kids, I had to be certain places at certain times every single day. I was professional taxi minivan driving mom, and I was always had to be somewhere, sport, play rehearsal, you name it. I was always had to be somewhere at a certain time. And now nothing. I get to decide what I do and when. So I enjoy that. And then for me, the worst part is when the loneliness creeps in and I do miss my kids. That is so hard. Okay, let's talk about meal planning. Now that the kids are grown, do we do a full weekly meal plan or do we just kind of wing it and say, you know what, have a bowl of cereal, you're on your own? Lisa, what do you do?
If it's just my husband and I, we wing it. Yeah. We might talk about it in the morning. Do you have any ideas what you want for dinner? But otherwise, we're winging it. And I am so grateful. I have a very easygoing husband. Like he is not picky at all. Like I could cook the same chicken for the week and make it into 5 different meals and he'd be fine with chicken every night. So he's not super picky that way. But yeah, meal prep or like meal planning. We just had a bunch of family in town. And so there was a lot of meal planning going on the last 2 or 3 weeks. And yeah, it's not my favorite. I would rather have everything I need. And then I'm a one pot wonder type of kid. So I just less dishes, throw it all in the same pan, cook it up, serve
I
it
saw
up.
you making fried rice, I think it was last night in the
Yeah.
Marcos. How'd
Yeah.
that turn out?
Delicious. So good.
And it was made partly with leftovers, right? You said you had a leftover steak or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Yeah,
much
that's
all of
so
it.
creative.
Yeah.
Love it. Emily, you're a planner. You still meal plan?
I am a planner. I do like to just make sure we have the right ingredients for various meals for the week because I don't want to run into town for more than one time for groceries. So just planning that for my one trip, I feel like I do look ahead a little bit. But with just the three of us here now, we do wing it more often than not. And I would say Andrew's a lot like Brian that Lisa described. He's so not picky. If I just say, well, we're just having leftovers, or this is in the freezer, or I could make that for you, he's like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just warm this up. No big deal. So that's a huge blessing. So yeah, we do wing it more. And you were talking about meal prepping for all of your guests this weekend, Lisa. Kylie and James just came to visit this past weekend, and making a meal for 3 people who aren't super picky is way different than making a meal for 5 people. Like just 2 extra people is a lot more prep and thought work, and it's more protein even. You can't just get by on one package of chicken. It might be 2 or 3 to make sure that you're feeding everybody. So it's interesting how just 1 or 2 people can change what mealtime looks like.
And a life hack for So, like, if any of our listeners are similar to what Emily and I just said, like, oh, well, I'll wing it, and no, we're having company. Or I know Angela, even last month, had a lot of her family come and stay at your lake house. So I used Chat GPT. That's what I did. I said, I have the following main staples in my freezer. I like gave a list of things I had. And then I said, I need a 5-day menu for, I like spelled it all out and then said, create a menu and then give me a PDF shopping list. And that was amazing.
Did you ask for recipes?
Yeah, it was so easy. It just saved me so much time because otherwise I'm going to Pinterest and I'm like, okay, I have a bunch of ground beef, I have frozen chicken, I like, and I'm always drawn to the same recipe over and over again. And I just wanted something that we hadn't had. So, little hack.
That is a hack.
Yeah.
Great
That's
tip.
awesome. So, when you're watching TV at night, girls, who's more likely to cry at a Hallmark movie? Hubby?
Well, not Angela. She's watching all the shoot 'em up, high testosterone.
All the war movies. Angela's getting into it with all the war
War
movies.
movies are my thing. And Jim's favorite movie is Pride and Prejudice, but you didn't hear it from me.
I love Pride and Prejudice. I'm more likely to cry over Andrew. Although if it's a dad-daughter family situation, or if there's a dog involved in the
dog.
movie, we will both be crying and passing each other the tissues. But more often than not, it's me crying.
I'm the crier. So it really doesn't matter the genre of the movie. It really matters more where I'm at that particular day. I think I got teary-eyed the other night. We were watching Top Gun Maverick, you know, like the sequel. There was a part at the end and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you, this is, yeah. So it's me. Hi.
It's okay. Let it out. So funny. So when the kids were home, I had to set an alarm, every weekday to get up and get them ready for school at a certain time. And now I don't have to set an alarm. I can choose to. So I'm curious, are we choosing to set an alarm or are we just waking up when we wake up? So this is going to kind of touch on a raw spot for me because my 90-day goal is to do some time management, time blocking, time investing. And I told myself I was going to get up every day at 5:30 and it's not happening. I am not setting my alarm and I'm not waking up on my own at 5:30. So I am not setting an alarm, but I still wake up. I wake up at 6:30. So it's not like I sleep super late. I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that to make myself feel better, but here we are. Okay. How about you girls? Lisa, do you set an alarm?
I was going to ask you, Angela, do you need coaching?
For sure I do.
I do not set, if I don't have to get up to work out of the home that day, I don't set an alarm. We also have an elderly dog. And so one of us is usually sleeping in a part of the house that's closer to her. And she is your alarm clock because she knows what time it is every morning at the same time. So you don't need to set an alarm with her. But no, I only set an alarm if I have to be up for a certain reason.
I have a similar situation. I do just naturally wake up when the light starts peeking in through the blinds. I will just naturally wake up, early enough when that sun starts peeking through. But we set an alarm because we also have a dog that if I don't set the alarm and he hears, like he'll hear it and think, oh, it's time for me to eat, right? Because that's what it signals to him. If he doesn't hear that or we don't set it thinking we might want to sleep in, right, wake up naturally, he'll get earlier and earlier to the point it's like 4:45 or 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, no, we are not getting up at 4:30 in the morning and hearing you cry and walk all over the hardwood floors. So we set an alarm to make sure our dog understands now it's time to eat. So I don't know, not for kids, but I set an alarm to make sure my dog doesn't wake me up too early.
You literally have Pavlov's dog
I
living in.
do.
Oh my God.
I do. And we've gotten lax on it before, and that's when it starts to creep earlier and earlier. And I'm like, oh, dog's running the show again. Time to set the alarm again.
I think the dog is running the show now.
He really is. Have you seen a picture of him, though? Seriously, the cutest. We're going to have to put a picture of Ollie on the Life Coach Lounge Instagram page just to show everybody what we're talking about here. You wouldn't be able to say no to that face either.
You are very right. You are very right. Oh,
That goes to one of your questions, Angela.
it does. I know. Yeah. We love our dogs, don't we? Okay, what I was going to ask is, so when the kids were home, I'm curious if you hid some sweets or snacks so they couldn't find them. And now that the kids are out of the house and grown and you don't have to hide that snack anymore, what is it? What is the snack you don't have to hide anymore?
What if I have to hide it from my husband?
No. That is still a thing, isn't
That's
it?
a thing. Yeah, that's a thing.
So what is it? What are we hiding?
Especially if it's some like dark chocolate. Like there are things that he loves that I could easily be like, no, I'm good. Like he is a huge M&M fanatic, and I could take those or leave them. Like good dark chocolate, my kids just devour it. So yeah, I will hide the dark chocolate, which is actually good for me too, because out of sight, out of mind, sometimes I forget that I've hidden it. I'm like, oh wait, I have a craving for chocolate. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Where did I put that?
I actually have some.
I feel like we hid cookies from time to time. But yeah, I blanked on this question, other than the dark chocolate, but nobody else really seemed to like dark chocolate. So then I realized, why am I hiding this? Nobody else is going to eat it anyway. They all like the milk chocolate or the cookies, and we really don't buy those anymore. So I had a blank on this one. Angela, do you have a confession that you'd like to share with us?
So when the kids were home, I hid the chocolate.
I was going to say you hid your chips.
I didn't buy chips because, I mean, with 7 people in the house, a bag of chips was not enough. So unless the chips were going to be like part of a certain meal, we just didn't have chips in the house. I take that back. Sometimes I would buy the like snack size ones to put in their lunches or whatever, but to buy a full bag was always part of a meal, and it was always destroyed. When the meal was over, the chips were gone. But for me, it was chocolate. I would hide chocolate, and now my quality of chocolate has increased greatly. I've been into, I think you call it Hu chocolate, HU, and it's supposedly healthy chocolate. I don't know, but I tell myself it's healthy, and it's dark chocolate, and it's so good. And the thing about when you buy super high quality, you don't need a lot of it, like 1 or 2 little squares, and it's more than enough. So the chocolate is actually sitting out on the kitchen counter right now. It is not hiding. It is sitting out. But if I knew my kids were coming, it would definitely be put away. So funny. Okay, let's see. What is my last question here? This one is a good one. What is the most mom thing you still do, even though the kids aren't around anymore?
I have a few for this one. I'll just get us started on it. Okay.
Yes, do it.
I always have a snack in my purse, but not for other people, for myself. Like, that's a great thing to have so that I don't stop and get fast food or get an energy bar that I maybe wouldn't like. I always have a protein bar or like a beef jerky stick in my purse because you just never know when you might be hungry. So there was that. I also still always check my people's location. I have my husband's and both of my daughters and now our son-in-law. We just have shared location on our phone, on our little iPhones, and I still check their location sometimes at night to see, oh, are they safe at home again? Okay, they are. And then I just take a deep breath, and my mama heart is like, everyone's where they need to be. And then I also do sometimes still check my phone like at the end of the evening, just in case Kylie's messaged and maybe had a question or needed something. Even though she's on her own, she's with an amazing guy, like they're totally safe. I still just am like, well, maybe she needs me. So those are the 3 things that came up for me.
That's so relatable. My word. Yes. Snacks in the car. For sure. I do that too.
And other things, like especially if I've pared down or changed a handbag recently, like I have like in your console, I don't know like how you treat your consoles in your car, but mine is like an extension of my handbag. So like I'll have little things in there that I don't really need to have in there because as Angela mentioned earlier, I'm not the Uber anymore. I'm not going to tournaments. I'm not on the road for a weekend for a sporting event. But yeah, it's hard to break out of that habit.
I think the most mom thing I still do and probably will always do is really intentionally celebrate birthdays, anniversaries. It's just the tradition of the holidays and birthdays. We always made a big deal about it. And it wasn't just for the little kids. Like when it's my birthday, I want my birthday to be different than any other day. Even if you tell me, let's get together on Saturday and celebrate your birthday. If my birthday's on Tuesday, we're celebrating. I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating me. Tuesday, it's happening. So, yeah, I'm just big on celebrating birthdays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and doing it big and instilling those traditions. It's just something I love doing. I think it might be a mom thing, a grandma thing. I don't know.
I think that's a
Anything
great
else?
mom thing to keep up.
I miss that because last year was the first year Sammy wasn't home for her birthday. And yeah, I can totally relate to that because we would like streamer in with balloons and streamers on their door. So, like, when they woke up in the morning, I mean, they knew it was coming, but yeah. So, I had to send that ahead of time with the roommate and be like, can you tuck away?
Away. There better be streamers on the door.
Can you help a mom out?
I love it. Such good conversation, you guys. I just feel like I got to know you more today. I love it. And just for our listeners, I want to remind you that it is important to feel the grief in an empty nest, but also not to become paralyzed in it. We have a lot of life left to live and a lot of adventures still to create. We have purpose in this season of life, and we have the experience to guide us. So if you're struggling with your empty nest transition, reach out to us. We are life coaches. We've been there, we've felt the feelings, and we get it. We're here to support you and help you find joy in this new season of life. So thank you for joining us in the Life Coach Lounge today. If something resonated with you, we'd be honored if you hit subscribe on whatever platform you're on. We're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And please share it with someone who might enjoy this episode too. We would love to connect with you on Instagram. You can find us at the Life Coach Lounge, where we have great conversations and apparently dog pictures, cute dog pictures, and we support each other between our podcast episodes. So until next time, everyone, we're grateful to walk alongside you, and we love it when you join us in the lounge. And ladies, I'll see you too later today in the Marcos.